Today I'm talking Leonardo and I'm talking about content reference. So what's cool about Leonardo is they have a few featured guides right when you first open up their page. And with these, they have a little video and a kind of a snippet of exactly how to use it. And I love that Leonardo does this on all of its latest features. And so I went through, watched this guide and had some fun with content reference. So what's the difference? So some of the other ones you could do, I talked in the past about consistent characters. Now, style reference and content reference are pretty similar. Now, what the difference is you're actually uploading a style to an image to then put it on style reference. But here, actually, it's the content in the image itself that it holds on to, and then your prompt can update what is the content in the photo. So I had some big wins, a couple of kind of losses on this, but altogether pretty darn good. So I want to pop in and show you guys exactly what I did. So the first one, and I'm going to have all of the original images up in the corner of the screen as I'm explaining these. And the first one I want to show you guys. So what I did was I uploaded an image that just had a photograph on it. And it was just a random anything on this photograph. And I said I wanted this photograph to represent a couple at their weddings, like a wedding type picture. So again, with Leonardo, what's great is it gives you 4 options of everything that you produce, and you can choose how many you want, but I normally stick with 4 because it's pretty good. So I want you to notice the subtle differences from image to image on these. I did keep the actual the reference, so there's the strength here. I kept it on high for that one, so that way it really held on to the original framework of the photo and only changed the one thing that I asked it to, so that's pretty cool. So again, if you look and see this one, it kind of looks like a wedding photo. I mean, they're in the water, which I guess some people do that. That's pretty cool. All right, next one, they kind of added like a wedding veil over the logs that were here, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of on theme, but I didn't ask for it, but the wedding photo looks great. I'm like, all right, that looks like a golden hour, perfect wedding photo. Really cool. This one here, again, a good wedding photo. But look at the little differences. Like, look at the house here. It decided to change the house dark on this last one. And this one, the house is light. So it's taking some liberties that I didn't prompt it to. So I don't know if I appreciate it or not, but what I do like is having 4 versions of these photos so I can kind of see if there's one that I really do like. So this one almost looks like, walking with like a maybe a stepdaughter or something like that. So that still, looks like a wedding type photo. And again, it took some liberties, but all in all, pretty cool. So, all right, one of the main examples showed a shoe. So I'm like, all right, let's talk shoes here. So show me an original version of Air Jordans. And in my prompt here, I said shoes made of basketball court wood. I wanted to try to get creative. And I had 2 fails. I don't see any sort of wood or anything on this one, so that one didn't work. This one, again, not even close. But this one, you see the kind of wood grain on the shoe. And I'm like, you know what? That looks pretty darn good. And it stayed really true to the original. So designers, people who like to customize things like shoes or guitars, I'm going to get into that, an example of that later, or even interior decorators who want to see what a space is going to look like differently, they can really benefit from this tool. It's pretty cool. So moving on, the last pair of shoe here again, I like how they incorporated the Nike swoosh to have the wood grain in it. I think they look kind of cool to have this wood grain. And, I just said a basketball court floor, but it just took wood grain. That's fine. And so, again, I had some wins, some losses, but all in all, this was pretty cool. So here is where I think it was fantastic. So original image that I got from Rev, and I'll keep it up on the screen, but is a actual, I took this one right here. And it is a, yellowish beige wall, brown couch kind of room. And I wanted to change the look and feel of the room entirely. And it really did it well. So I said I want this room to be, let's peek at my prompt here real quick, hunter green walls and a TV, hunter green walls and a TV on the wall. So kind of half listened to me. It definitely listened to the hunter green on the walls. It looks great, but it didn't add a TV. But you know what? That's not what this function's for, is adding, different things like that. It's for changing details. So I've had some complaints in the past about Leonardo and its prompt adherence, but I think in this one, it's kind of just keeping me in my lane for what this function's supposed to be. So, all right, let's look at the different versions of this. And I want you to notice how it keeps the walls hunter green, but things like the bookshelf or the door or the couches will change colors in each iteration. So here's the next one. Now we've got green couches that go with the hunter green walls. The bookshelves, I think, are kind of similar. They're a little whiter, but they match the mood. Oh, they've got some wood grain on the bottom. So it's keeping it similar, but it's taking some liberties. Like this is a slate table. This table is now a glass table, but you know what? Everything looks good. So what would be fun about this as an interior designer is to go through these iterations and be like, hey, I like this, I don't like that, and get some ideas. Next one here. Now the door is completely different. Look at the door back here compared to, say, the door over here. So it's making some changes and different things. And the bookshelf gets all wood grain all across it now. And now we're at a darker color green couches. And then the last one, they did this like green door over here, and they did like a darker bookshelf. But again, hunter green walls every single time. And this time the couches were a bit different. Before they were in the green world, and now we've got like a lighter brown and then kind of like a blue and green type couch going on. So, all right, I wanted to then keep playing with this one because I thought this was a real win. So I wanted my next prompt, I said a floral green and orange type of wallpaper. And we all remember the wallpaper look, but it nailed it. It's green and orange, floral. It looks like wallpaper. And then look at the art and stuff. And then the greens and the oranges in the chair. So it's not only taking my prompt and taking care of the walls, but then it's taking some design cues from the walls and trying to make the rest of the room fit. And I think this is a pretty cool function of this. So here's the next one. Again, green and orange couches, green and orange floral walls, all looking good. Just part of the walls, but still, I didn't say all the walls, so it did adhere to a little bit. And this last one here, just a few different examples. So look, little details change, like the table, the chandelier, the art on the walls. But all in all, it still adheres to the prompt nicely. So I'm really happy with this program, especially in this function. I really think an interior designer would have a lot of fun with this. So, all right, moving on. Here's where it struggled. So I started with a picture of just a normal Stratocaster guitar that was made by Rev. And I'm going to be honest, Rev is normally super good. And they did okay here, but then I realized later that there were some details that it missed. Like the fret dots are not looking good. I mean, it's nowhere close to saying Fender up there. So some minor details that it missed. But I tried to rectify that in a little bit here. But all right, I asked for a carbon fiber pickguard and an ebony neck with block inlays. So there's two different types of inlays. So there's either dots or there's bigger blocks. This one, I don't know. It didn't really, that almost looks like carbon fiber on the guitar, but not the pickguard. Maybe it didn't understand what a pickguard was. But each of these are a much further distortion. I mean, I like the carbon fiber here and some gold, but I know what a guitar should look like, and I know what these pickups don't look good, and the fret dots don't look good. So I was wondering, I'm like, is it not taking an AI image to start and struggling with that? And I did another round of iterations, and again, I didn't really get anything good. So then what I did next is actually took that blue guitar back there and took a picture of it and uploaded that picture and had to do a vertical one. And still, it didn't understand what the pickguard was. It made some distortions on the actual guitar. I was a little bit upset with this because I'm somebody who likes to customize and, make guitars and stuff. So I would like to see what some iterations look like. So here's where it struggled. But that's all right. You can't expect it to nail everything. So then, all right. So then going on to our last one, here's a classic of Arash and I's. We always like to have, like a lady walking down a city street and then try to do things like change, the clothing or different things like that. And then what I wanted to do also is there's a function called content reference where you can go from low to high. And I wanted to play with that back and forth and kind of see what differences it would make. So this first round here, I did the content references high. And one of the things you'll notice is in the original image versus this one, the city buildings behind it all look very similar, and it really kept that reference image very similar. But the person, she changed from image to image, and not all these images are that great. So this one, all pretty good. A couple things in the face area that don't seem quite right. I think that eye doesn't quite look right, but not bad. This one a little better, but again, still some facial distortion, still the same kind of city street feel, so all looking good. This one's probably the best looking one of the whole group. You did add some like wet to the road, so you got a nice reflection going on. This is a pretty realistic looking image. And then the last one here, also pretty good, but they added a bunch of people in the city street and stuff like that. So I thought it kind of took some liberties there more than I asked it to. And so then I wanted to go and try to do the content reference on low and see what would happen. And if you look here, the backgrounds are much different. So it's taken a lot more liberties and put her in kind of like a different scene. And also she was kind of facing not right at the camera, but walking across the camera. And now she's looking directly at the camera, but it is still a model in a city street now wearing a green dress. So again, this one looks good, but a whole different new scene. Probably one of the best looking images of the whole group. But again, on a brand new scene, it looks like it's, like a little alleyway here. And then there's the last one. So all in all, pretty good. I had some wins, I had some losses, but there are definitely some really good functions for this. Some other things I should mention, you always want to be in the model preset. Either Cinematic Kino or Lifelike Vision are the two they recommended for this mode. And your generation mode should be on the quality, not on the fast side. Otherwise, you could choose your image directions, you could choose the quantity of images and the resolution, and this all should work for you. So, well, Rosh and I, we like to talk about all the latest updates and everything we're up to in the world of AI every Monday on the Creative AI Show. It's on all the popular streaming platforms and right here on YouTube. And please, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe so you can keep watching these videos that Rosh and I are putting out. Until then, we're just two creative guys talking AI.